Go back to your country. Well, what if we did? Imagine if every black and brown person went back to their country of origin, discovered by whatever means. Here's what would happen in the first 30 days. Stick around for day 30, because that's when the truth really lands. Day 1. Hospitals, buses, supermarkets, construction sites, thousands of essential workers gone overnight. Services collapsed before the morning rush. Days 2 to 4, headlines are screaming, "Labour shortage crisis!" Schools close early, warehouses back up, food deliveries stall. Parents scramble, and businesses, they start panicking like mad. Days 5 to 7, the government hold emergency meetings, like that's gonna help. Recruitment drives fail, because there's not enough skills left in the country. Immigration police, once hostile, suddenly start looking desperate. Meanwhile, communities abroad are starting to welcome back their doctors, engineers and teachers. Days 8 to 12, the media run frantic, start running think pieces like, what if they never come back? Stock market dips, inflation spikes, and racists who once said go back start to complain. Who's gonna run our trains? Who's gonna clean our hospitals? Like that's all we do. Days 13 to 17, the supply chain jams. Crops rot in the fields, supermarkets ration their stock, and protests erupt in major cities as prices climb and services are broken. Days 18 to 21, the Western economy buckles and investors start to pull their money. Abroad, skilled workers start to build, sparking growth across Africa, Asia, the Caribbean and Latin America. Reverse brain drain is underway. Days 22 to 25, corporate leaders start admitting the obvious. We depended on them. Politicians try spin the thing, but the public ain't buying it, and confidence in the government crumbles. Now who's clapping for crumbs? Days 26 to 29, the chaos deepens. Airports still half empty, hospitals still understaffed, businesses shutting down left, right and centre. And now, commentators start saying the quiet part out loud. We asked them to leave, and now we're paying the price. Day 30, a month later, and the insult collapses under its own weight. Black and brown communities aren't the burden, they're the backbone. And now the Western world just proved it. They said go back, and in just 30 days, the irony was clear. But that's just the first month. If you want to know what happens in the first year, drop a comment below. And follow if you're done watching passively. We decode the myth, and we don't clap for crumbs.
Americans are incredibly talented. Like I said, when it comes to the arts and creativity, I just find Black American to be funnier. I think we're also funnier. I think we have a natural sense of humor. Like when we're comedians, we do it the best. Also when we sing, we do it the best. When we're athletes, we do it the best.
See, Black pride. Yes,
I
Candace.
say this on
That's
my
what
show.
we want from Candace. Black pride. Not all of the other shit that makes us say, damn, is she proud to be Black or is she not proud to be Black?
And if you watch my show, you're not hearing anything new. This is what I say. This is the lessons in all of that. Forget the headline about what I said, but why I say it offends me. I'll say because this is what I grew up with and this is what I know we are capable of. Because I know you can do better. And I know who's making the decisions in the boardroom. And I see their evil game and it's Machiavellian and I'm just not having it. That's why I'm not allowed to speak to Black Americans beyond the headlines. That's why they want to separate us, is because they are worried about what would happen if there was a Black Renaissance.
Since there's so many of y'all on here talking about go back to Africa, you should go, blah, blah, blah. I decided to ask ChatGPT, Chat, what would happen if all Black Americans left the U.S. and returned to Africa? And one thing ChatGPT do not do is lie, baby. So this is what ChatGPT said. This is food for thought for everybody who's saying go back to Africa. So first, Black Americans make up 14% of the U.S. population and contribute significantly to healthcare, education, sports, entertainment, government. And a sudden departure would create significant labor shortages. That's one. 2, Black Americans contribute over $1.7 trillion annually to the U.S. economy. A departure like that would create a sudden loss of economic power. 3, Black-owned businesses, which employ millions of Americans, would shut down or relocate, shifting the wealth to whatever country all of us went to. Number 4. Now this one gonna really piss you off. This one gonna piss you off. Loss of cultural influence. Black Americans, and I quote, Black Americans have shaped U.S. culture through jazz, hip-hop, and blues, fashion, language, and sports. Their departure would significantly alter America's cultural identity. Of course, we know that there will be a shift in elections, particularly for the Democratic Party. There won't be a need for NAACP and Black Lives Matter. But here's where it gets good again. A decline in innovation. Blacks foster creativity and innovation. The loss of racial diversity could slow technological advances. See, y'all ancestors ain't tell y'all how sick y'all was. See, y'all, before y'all found us, y'all was fighting each other. See, ain't nobody passed that information on to y'all. Y'all don't know about all that. See, our people passed information on. Y'all people didn't. Y'all wanted to be lost in translation, but we know. We know.
I actually allowed you guys to watch those clips first before I come here to do an introduction. Reason because, a lot of people have tend to see Black people as people that are really not useful to a certain country. But you can watch from the first clip that I played that as a Black person, the power is so super. I think I've also done a video before where I said, just imagine a whole America, just America, without Black and brown people. Like, what do you think will happen? Like, what do you think will happen? You think that these people do not know your value? You think that they don't see what you do? You think that you're just sitting there? Welcome back again to the channel. It's Sonia and I'm back again with another mind-blowing video. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are fine. Hope you guys are good. If it is the first time tuning in, subscribe, like this video, drop me a comment, and lastly, do not forget to share for every other person to get this good news. And this is just for educational purpose. Credit belongs to original creators of every clips and stitches we use in today's episode. We do not support any form of violence here. We are just peaceful people. Subscribe. Thank you so much for coming back to watch my videos. And let's dive right into the other clips, and I'll be back with commentaries.
This message is for you. Why are so many Americans leaving the U.S.? You notice more and more people are packing and moving abroad, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. Life in the U.S. is a non-stop grind. You work, you pay bills, you stress, you don't really get to live. You're just existing. And I always say to you guys, you're not depressed, you just live in the U.S. Because the truth is, this environment wears you out. The politics, the rising of the crime, the constant pressure, it never ends. And let's not get on the food. It feels like every week there's a recall. Another recall, another GMO, some more pesticides, more chemicals. And you know the saying, you are what you eat. So if they keep filling everything up with junk, that means you're actually junk. You don't really get to be healthy. And don't forget about the healthcare. One bill here can wipe out your savings. But in other countries, you get better care for lower costs. Fresher food, calmer lifestyle, and suddenly leaving doesn't sound so crazy after all, right? So for many Americans, it's not about running away. It's about moving forward to something better. So leaving the U.S. is not giving up the dream. It's actually living the American dream.
I'm actually quite sad for the state of America. I posted a video like a year ago when someone asked me if I was ashamed of saying that I'm from America when Donald Trump became president, and I'm like, no, I'm not ashamed. He's not my president. Who cares? Fast forward, it's like Gotham in America. I'm coming back shortly, but I can assure you, I will not be staying. I will not be staying. I will not be staying. I'm not
the first trillionaire to ever exist, right? Kudos to him. Yeah. So economically, like, except for maybe the liquidation of companies such as, I don't know, Cadillac, Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, Hennessy, which is a part of the same umbrella company, the LVMH. Yeah, besides some of those sort of brands, I don't think the pain would necessarily be as great as you think. And how do I know this? Because we are currently under the mass, well, I was going to say mass migration, or no, we are under the mass deportation of a group of people who we can say are vastly more productive or vastly greater contributors to our economy as far as production goes, not just the consumption side. Right, consumption is one part of it, and I do believe that there's going to be quite a bit of a squeeze on the consumption side, because Lord knows that if ninjas do anything, it is to buy some they can't afford, right? And that's ninjas in every ethnicity, because they are there in every ethnicity. But as far as this belief that she has, that, I mean, it's not even her belief. What am I talking about? She's literally reading it right off the damn thing and knows nothing about what she's actually reading. The healthcare system. Okay, are we talking about the burden on the healthcare system by those who are in the lowest socioeconomic groups, who tax the system, the ones who need the most assistance that taxpayer dollars are going towards? I think that will actually balance itself out. Now, we're talking per capita, of course, because, they like to say, well, more white people are on welfare, more white people are doing X, Y, and Z. Per capita, meaning per person, or by ratio, 1 for 1. It is disproportionate as far as who is actually leeching off of the system as opposed to contributing to it. Now, if we lost, let's say, Chinese Americans, Japanese Americans, Indian Americans, maybe Nigerian Americans, things of that nature, it's going to be tough. I'm not trying to say anything to the white folks who've been. I'm just saying that's going to be felt, because if we look at much of the ingenuity that's taken place, much of what's happening within the STEM fields, etc., a lot of them folks are doing that. A lot of them folks are doing. They're prioritizing it, and they're doing that. So that's going to be a hell of a squeeze. But I'm telling you right now, unfortunately, the reality of what would actually happen is,
Black people, I have a proposition. As a member of the African community, if America do not stop is nonsense, it's time for y'all to come home. I will literally build Noah's Ark with my bare 2 hands, gather every last Black person in the United States. It's gonna be a party boat too. We are all going back to Africa, and Wakanda will become a reality. Thunder fire this country. If you're not Black but you sick of America too, there will be a very selective application process. But we skedaddling out of here.
Y'all seen the clip of Z-Way interviewing Roy Woods Jr. and she asked him if he has a message to the youth, and he said, get out of the United States.
What encouragement do you have for America's youth?
Leave.
Oh, please.
Leave. America is one big homeowners association. You can't even go to Canada, because that's about to be America too. So you got to find somewhere else to go for a little while and give it a generation.
Thanks for those words.
I don't say that to be pessimistic. I say it to hopefully activate people into seeing what's going on.
You literally told the nation's youth that they should leave and flee the country.
They should. They should.
So I left the United States in 2015 on a one-way ticket a month after Sandra Bland. If you don't know who Sandra Bland is, shame on you. Google her. Now, I was 28 when I left the United States. But my goodness, if I had known then what it is that I know now, I would have left sooner. I would have got my little degree and left, or I would have got my degree abroad and stayed. And I don't take the journey lightly. I always say I don't think it's for everybody. If you ain't never left your city, if you ain't never left your state, if you ain't never left your parents' house, if you didn't even go away to school, the likelihood that moving abroad is going to work for you might be slim to none. But if you're somebody who got your wits about you and you're daring to try at this life, moving out of the United States is going to alert that third eye that everything that you've been taught within the walls of the U.S. is a lie. All that hustle and bustle, working 3 jobs to pay 1 rent, $300, $400 car insurance, $12 eggs. And everybody thinks that you need a degree or you need to find a remote job. No. What are your skills? Do you do hair? Can you braid? Are you a therapist? Do you whip that work in the kitchen and can sell food that remind people of home? Are you a nail tech? Are you a photographer? The world is absolutely your oyster, and people are looking to pay you for your skills. And guess who's hosting a webinar to talk about living abroad, moving abroad, and answering everybody's questions? Go ahead and head to my bio, because the date and time of the webinar is going to be sent out tomorrow.
I wanted to remind everybody that the United States is 4% of the entire world's population. That means 96% of all living human beings are outside of your country. I promise you, your experiences in Virginia are not the truth of the universe. I promise you, my experiences in Florida is not the truth of the universe. I promise you, Your experiences when you went to university in California is not the truth in the universe. Many times, as people who live in America, we fail to understand how truly massive the world is and how it definitely does not revolve around us. And whenever you actually had to acknowledge someone else's existence, you were still the main character. People do food a lot differently and it works for them. People do marriage a lot differently and it works for them. People do prisons a lot differently, crime a lot differently and it works for them. People do work a lot differently than it works for them. But why am I wording it like that? Because if it works for them, that means it could work for you. Learn somebody else's language. Learn how other people understand time, understand sex, understand money, understand community. If you give yourself the chance to explore the world outside of you, not only will you learn more about yourself, about the people around you, but equally as importantly, you'll learn more about this weird blue and green ball that you've been put on.
I just watched a video about how this woman refinanced her home and how basically she is going to owe way more money than she already owed. Even though her payments are getting lowered, she's still going to owe more money, and talking about how it's such a scam. Yeah, pretty much everything in America is a scam. So health insurance, we pay $500 a month for health insurance, all right? But then you have a deductible. Some things apply to the deductible, some things don't. You have a copay every time that you go, but there's like a max allotted copay. So mine is $2,000 per person, but like a family max, I think of $5,000 or something like that. Anyway, so I pay $25, when I go see a regular doctor, $50 if it's a specialist, $25 like for my therapy. But if I hit that $2,000 out of pocket, then they cover everything, all right? So you're telling me I pay $500 a month, and then I have a $2,000 out of pocket pay, and then you'll cover everything at 100% as long as it's covered. But that doesn't apply to prescription medication. That only applies to like doctor's visits and things like that. Don't get me wrong, I have pretty good insurance and I'm very privileged to have insurance, especially in America, but that's insane. That's crazy. Everything is a scam in America, and the new American dream is to leave.
Finish what we started. Because a world without black and brown people, it wouldn't just be dull. It would be dysfunctional. Let me tell you how much we'd take with us. Let's start with transportation. No traffic lights. Garrett Morgan. No modern highways. Latino engineer Guillermo Gonzalez Camarena. He also helped bring color TV. Say goodbye to that too. No gas-powered cars. Mexican inventor Victor Ochoa, he helped design one of the first. I hope you like walking. And let's talk food, because your plate, it just got real sad. No potatoes, tomatoes, chocolate, vanilla, corn, all from indigenous Latin America. No coffee. Ethiopians gave y'all that. No sugar or rice. South Asians and Middle Eastern traders, they made this global. And even the way that we cook and season food, African, indigenous, Caribbean, those cultural traditions, they help shape that. You're going to be eating bland and boiled everything. Now let's talk hygiene. The Moors, aka the Black Muslims from North Africa, they brought indoor plumbing, advanced sanitation, and soap to Europe when folks were still throwing waste into the streets. If we never existed, y'all would still be musty. Not opinion, just history. And if we're talking healthcare, just know that modern medicine wouldn't exist without black and brown people. Cataract surgery, Egypt. The first surgical instruments, India. Blood banks, Dr. Charles Drew. No advanced surgeries, no blood transfusions. If you get sick, good luck. And don't even think about electricity. The modern light bulb, it wouldn't exist without Lewis Latimer. Refrigeration, that was Frederick McKinley Jones. Now your food's rotting and your lights are out. And guess what? You're also bored out of your mind. Because there's no hip-hop, no jazz, no salsa, reggae, Bollywood, kung fu movies, and rock and roll. And guitars? Black Moors introduced stringed instruments to Europeans. The whole world just got a lot quieter. The concept of zero, algebra, advanced geometry, all trace back to African, Middle Eastern, and South Asian civilizations. Astronomy? Ancient indigenous and African societies. They mapped those stars before Europeans even knew what a planet was. Physics. The foundations of motion and engineering, they came from Arabic and African scholars, long before Newton showed up. Computers? You remember Guillermo Gonzalez Camarena? The color monitor. Poof. And here's the thing that stings. Y'all aren't surprised by any of this. You always knew. That's why you built entire economies off of stolen labor, stolen land, and stolen inventions. Thomas Edison gets credit for the light bulb, right? But Lewis Latimer made it work. Elvis Presley became the king of rock and roll by mimicking Black musicians. And when we did build our own wealth and communities, they were burned down. Tulsa, Rosewood, Wilmington. It'd be more than a country without culture and the relationships that you've built. No advanced medicine, no modern transportation, no working electricity, no technological advancements, no cultural influence, no innovation. What would be left if we took away everything that we gave you? Because from where I'm standing, not a damn thing.
Black pride. Black pride. And don't tell me that that we don't deserve to have that pride. Just in 30 days, everything. You know, when I see videos and some people will be like, some palm-colored people will be like, what do they even contribute? If you think they are building here enough, they should go and build their own country. Your mind. You think you can do it alone? You think so? You know so? Okay, let's just roll it a little bit back to this illegal immigrant that the orange man said. The orange man moved them not even up to good 2 weeks. Till now, as I'm filming this video today, they are crying in pains. Nobody want to pick our crops. Nobody want to do this. Nobody want to do that. We are tired. Bring back the illegal immigrants. Let them come and be legal. You know, it is easy to play around with people, especially when you have not lost them. But the moment you lose them, you now understand better that I shouldn't have done that. There is no country that will survive on its own without immigrants. There is no country. Don't think that you are the Alpha and the Omega that is feeding them. They can still go back to their country and do what they want to do and still stand on what they want to stand on. But what happened to you? What becomes of you? I just wish that these people in hierarchy should be able to look at things critically and look at some of the videos that we do release online here for them to see some reasons before doing some certain things. Because I feel like a lot of them were deformed, they were misinformed, they were not really informed. And that is why when they come up to make decision, they just go ahead and make decision. And at the end of the day, that decision is tremendously dealing with them. Imagine a country without Black and brown people. Do you think it will survive or you think it will thrive? Do you think it will collapse or you think it will fall? Just imagine it. And that is why when some of these countries are falling, they are falling deeply that at the end of the day, they can't even explain or express themselves what is really happening. How do we fix this mess? Before they realize in fixing those mess, they have scattered everything. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Leave me with your thoughts there. And if you have not subscribed, subscribe, like, comment, and share. Like I said, credit belongs to original creators of every clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. We do not support any form of violence. Yeah, I will keep saying it right. We don't support any form of violence here. And thank you for always coming back to watch my videos. With no further ado, I don't like always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Please do not touch the dial and come back for more. I love you guys. Mwah.